The Comica BoomX-D Pro wireless lavalier microphone says that it has up to 328 feet of transmission range. Let's go ahead and test that out. Before we take these outside and test out the range, I will have the dead cat that it comes with on the actual lavalier microphone to help cut out some of the wind noise. But other than that, I'm not going to do any post audio editing, so that way you get the raw sound coming directly from these lav mics. I will have the receiver connected to my iPhone, and that's going to be the main video that I'm going to have set up, and then we're going to have it marked out several different distances that you'll see just to see how far this thing does go. But I'm not going to raise or lower any gain. I'm not going to do any noise reduction in post editing. It's going to be the exact sound that is coming from these microphones outside. All right, guys, so we found a large parking lot to actually do this test. This thing says it goes up to about 328 feet. Well, we have 300 feet marked out right here. You see the cones, may or may not be able to see them, but we marked it out, and then we may go a little bit further depending on if we still have signal or not. So my co-host on the podcast, Chris, is here to help me. Whoop, whoop. There's two transmitters, so might as well just have two people. So just to show you guys our setup, I have my iPhone as the main camera, and this is what the receiver is going into. So the main video and audio is all going to be from the iPhone, and then we have a GoPro way out there at 300 feet, and then obviously the one I have here. All audio is going to be going through the Comica, but we do have audio going through the GoPros as well, just the standard GoPro volume to make sure everything syncs in post. If you want to know how to sync your audio and video, check out this video up here where I go through that in Final Cut Pro. So you'll see it in that upper left-hand corner.
Yeah,
where it shows
signal antenna. Yeah.
Yep. So keep your eye on that. Let's go ahead and try out the first 100 feet.
100. And I'm getting my exercise in today.
I don't know when you would actually need to use this, but
I don't know. That'd be kind of weird to, unless you're doing some type of like production filming, maybe.
I guess. But why would you want the volume so close and your subject so far away?
Explosions.
But if you ever need it, we're going to test out how far you can go.
Fireworks, explosions.
Right? All right, so we are at the first marker here.
100 foot.
We're at 100 feet from the receiver, which is over there. Way over there, you can't even see it.
Yeah.
And our bars are showing.
I'm getting like one, if that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's not good. All right, let's head to the next spot. Keep an eye on the signal here.
Getting my steps in today.
I know.
It's great. We'll see if it picks it up. And I only show like the antenna on mine so far.
And this is just recording to the phone. You do have the option to record directly into the receiver, but we didn't do that because we wanted to see what the wireless status was. And we are at this point here, 200 feet out. And that's what our status is looking like.
Yeah, I'm only showing like the antenna.
Yeah.
That's it.
Got like maybe one bar on mine.
Yeah.
Well, we're almost there. Let's go another 100 feet.
Whew. Feel like I'm getting a workout.
We picked the most humid day to do this.
Yeah, and it looks like we're gonna get even more humid if not wet.
Right? So we're just dripping wet. So this is for you guys.
Yep. If you notice this area, it might look kind of familiar if you watch The Quarterback on Netflix.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes practiced out here.
Third cone, we're at 300 feet from the receiver.
Yep, still
I'm in
the antenna.
Yeah, I have the antenna.
I don't see anything else though.
I guess we'll see when we listen to it. All right, so we're at 300 feet.
I'd probably say that's probably that sign's maybe
Another 30?
30 or 150 maybe.
All right, so we're a little bit further out.
Yeah.
We walk away this sign.
So
just for the... Yeah.
It's interesting.
All right, we're way out here.
It's probably 450, I bet. 450 feet.
Yeah, we're way past 3.
Yeah.
Probably closer to 400. Way out there. I don't know if you guys can see the fence line way out there, but that's where the receiver is. And we're probably creeping up on 400 feet right here.
Yeah, I'd say we're at 400, if not more.
So now let's go back and see if it picked it up.
Ah, steps.
Right? Okay, so we are probably
halfway.
So we're probably 50 feet from the receiver to where the first mark was at 100 feet. And the signal just picked up on here.
Yep.
So
hopefully got it.
Yeah, hopefully it stayed with us. All right, so we just listened back to the footage, and it actually did pretty good to the 300 feet. Once we started going past that 300-foot mark, then the audio started breaking up. I would say it's pretty close to what they were saying, but more closer to the 300 mark.
Yeah.
But that's when we were next to each other. So now we're gonna kind of split up and see what it does then.
So. All
right, Chris, even though we're not gonna be able to really hear each other talk.
Yeah.
All right, you keep going. I'm gonna hang here.
Get my steps in. Woo, woo, woo.
Right? All right, but it sounds like even though we're far apart, it sounds like we're right next to each other.
Yeah, I hope they can pick us up. So he's probably
so mine's still showing
50
the
feet away
like
from
the,
me
I guess
now.
the one bar.
I'm gonna go to the 200 mark, and that'll be about 100-foot difference.
Where are you, Chris?
I'm at 200 feet from you, and you're going. We're about 100-foot difference. So
okay.
The 100-foot difference, he's scooting back, so he's probably gonna be closer to the 200-foot difference. It'll be interesting to see if the audio picks it up, if it matters if you're close to each other or not. So.
All right, so I'm back close to the receiver, and he is at the 200 mark.
You wanna know how you're
so
feeling?
how does this sound? And I'm sure it's kind of weird that we sound pretty close together.
And they'll tell you how old you are real quick.
Really far apart. So I'm gonna have him keep going.
Now he's telling me he's waving me back. We're starting to use sign language now. So a funny story is, my oldest son went up to Keith.
And then I'm gonna come.
Gave him the middle finger and asked him what it meant.
Kind of the opposite way.
So Uncle Keith decided to tell him that's what you use in traffic, and he tells people that you are number one, which I thought was funny, but I was not expecting my oldest to do that. And
all right, so Chris is at 300 feet away
300 feet
from the
difference.
receiver, and then I'm over here, probably another 50 feet from the receiver, but still about
like diagonally
250 feet from him.
Somebody, and I'm probably going to be about, I'd say 50 feet is where these other ones are. I don't know. So we'll see what it looks like and sounds like. It'll be interesting. I'm going to start walking in.
All right, so it did pretty good. It did better than I thought. I thought maybe it'd go about 100 and quit on us. But no, it out to about 300 feet, it did pretty good. So the only bad thing about that is we can't hear each other talking.
Yeah.
So it's okay if like you're talking, but then if you're trying to talk to each other or you're both talking to the camera,
you're yelling at each other.
I didn't know when he was talking. He didn't know when I was talking. There might have been some overlap there that made no sense, but that's the only downside. You can monitor the audio from the receiver here, but there's not an option to actually put headphones
and talk to each other.
Here.
That would be a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, that's I think that would come in handy, is if they put a way to put headphones in here, kind of like you do on a podcast.
Yeah.
And then that way you can monitor and still hear each other. And that way you're not over here telling one story and I'm over here telling another story.
Going like, what the hell are these guys talking about?
Right. That was our test and probably 95% humidity.
Yeah.
So goes to show you this works when it's really humid out.
And kind of windy.
Yeah.
And next to a busy road.
Yeah. Really no wind right now, maybe a slight breeze. I wish there was more.
Yeah.
We have the dead cats on this thing and some road noise. So
that wasn't the most scientific method to test out the range on these microphones, but hopefully it gave you a little bit of an idea of how far you can get the transmitter away from the receiver with this setup. I was kind of surprised actually how far it did go out. I know there was an area between the 100 and 200 foot where one of the lavalier mics kind of lost and was cutting in and out. But up to that 300 mark, once we were out at that 300 mark, it was doing pretty well. Past that, it was kind of going in and out. At one point, we were at 400 feet, and it was still kind of picking it up. I know there was some cutting in and out, but if you really had to go out that far,
You kind of can. I will be coming out with a full review on this. I just wanted to do some more testing on this, which included the range. So if you are interested in this microphone, hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified when I come out with that review video. And if you are interested in picking this up, I'll have the exact link to this one in the description below. And go ahead and check out these other videos on microphones while you're surfing the web.